Now, previous video I talked about using Grignards to create alcohols and kind of spoke about specifically with ketones. Let's talk more about a fundamental approach. So there's three types of alcohols: primary, secondary, and tertiary, and you can make all of them with a Grignard. How do you do it? Well, it really kind of depends on what the starting carbonyl complex is. If it's an aldehyde or if it's a ketone, which will dictate if you get the primary, secondary, or tertiary alcohol. But the methodology is the same. In all three cases, we're going to run in diethyl ether, so that's what this is, oxygen with two ethyl groups hanging off. And we're going to follow this up with an acid workup that will serve two purposes. It will protonate our alcohol and it will react away any unreacted Grignards. Now, let's reverse engineer it. If we want to form a primary alcohol, so in this case we would have 2-methyl, 1-propanol. Well, if this is our starting Grignard, this means that we would have to react it with formaldehyde. So if we react formaldehyde with a Grignard reagent, follow it up with an acid workup, we will get a primary alcohol. How do we get a secondary? Well, a secondary is going to have some R group hanging off the alcohol, and it's going to have our starting Grignard. So if we subtract off our starting Grignard here, what we're going to end up with is an aldehyde. What about a tertiary? So our tertiary, let's do R, R prime, OH. If we subtract off our Grignard again, that means we had to start with a ketone. So in terms of making alcohols with Grignards, if you want to make a primary alcohol, you're going to have to start with formaldehyde, so CH2O. If you want to make a secondary, you're going to have to start with an aldehyde. And if you want to make a tertiary, you're going to have to start with a ketone. And these will be the different types of alcohols that you can practically produce with a Grignard.